welcome to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, where we go across country and travel the world with members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. Let's go. Welcome, everybody. Every third Monday, we get to chat with travel writers about their destinations that they've been to around the world, across the country. And today we've got Janice Sakata-Schultze joining us. She is a travel writer, a blogger, a photographer, and certified advisor. And she's joining us to talk about Golden, Colorado, probably a place not that has really been on everyone's radar. I don't know. I've heard of Golden, but have you? So let's find out. So welcome, Janice. How are you?
Oh, doing really well. Thank you for having me on the show.
So Golden, like it's not far from Denver to me, like as I
No,
recall. Okay.
no, it's roughly 15 minutes west of Denver,
Okay.
going toward the Rocky Mountains. We are right at the Rocky Mountain foothills.
Mm.
So it's a very good location, great for getting around, especially where I'm at. It's at an intersection of the Interstate 70 and a state highway called
Okay.
93. Yeah, so it's really conveniently located and easy to get to from Denver.
Especially if you fly into Denver. And I know like Denver has really grown and growing. So people are looking to let's go on the outskirts a little bit, right? And for travelers coming in, would this be a place for them to look at as kind of a secondary option of Denver?
Absolutely. I would say that Golden is one of the smaller towns that people who are visiting Denver would come to.
Mm.
Um, Coors beer is
Mhm.
probably the thing that Golden is most known for, and it is one of the most popular attractions of the town. So that is something that a lot of people who come to Denver will come to Golden specifically for. But I'll talk a little
Yeah.
bit more about that later. So,
Yeah, because Denver is awesome. I mean, that's the Mile High City. There's so much history, but it
yep.
is growing. So I think it's cool to explore a little bit of the outside as well as, Denver itself. So I'm not knocking Denver, y'all. just to,
No, not
just
at
to be
all.
no, Denver's awesome. So Golden, you chose some of the best of
Mhm.
places and you live there. So you know it's like the locals insight, which we love. I mean, think as travelers, we want, I always talk about this, look at the locals. Locals have been there more than once. They know there's consistency in the places you go to. And you did this one taco shop. It was a Mexican restaurant that you're like,
Uh-huh.
listen, there's Mexican food, and then there's like the run of the mill kind of you hope, and then there's this one shop, and you get to pronounce it because
Oh,
I'll give another language to it, even though I lived in
yep,
Mexico for a while. But that is real and gives you really authentic experience.
definitely. And you're talking about Xicamiti tacos.
Hmm.
So, and it is located in a former 7-Eleven, so that tells you
Wow,
kind of how humble the place is.
cool. But I love places like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so, but it's what they have, they serve street tacos that
Mm.
are basically prepared simply, but really, really well. Um, Probably with minimal spices, probably a little bit of citrus juice, lime juices, probably. They won't give me their secrets, so I don't
Yeah.
know exactly what it is, but they just say that the meats are prepared very simply in their own juices and just done so well with fresh tortillas, fresh
Mm.
produce like the cilantro and onion. And I would say that it's probably one of the places that only locals know about.
Okay.
However, there have been, I think Yelp and I'm not sure if it's USA Today, I'll have to check on that, but there have been national publications that have called Jicamiti tacos some of the best Mexican food in the Denver area. So,
That's amazing because the competition's got to be big because
oh,
Colorado has a massive Mexican population. And if you're not authentic, they're going to call you out. Like,
absolutely. Oh no, yeah,
yeah,
for sure, for sure. So
yeah.
some of the best tacos you can get there are the al carbone the al pastor and chicken, and
Oh,
rajas con queso, which is of course roasted peppers with cotija cheese. So
oh, I love that. And then you said you got real margaritas. See, now that is, I have a pet peeve on the fake margarita thing.
yeah,
Like, don't just stop it. I don't care. I don't care who, what, and where. But then if a Mexican restaurant does it, then I'm like, come on, dudes. But I
exactly.
like a really good margarita, which is just not that hard to make, but a really good margarita can make your day. Let's just put it that way. And then really good street tacos to go with it.
Yeah.
I'm in heaven now, you
Oh
know.
yeah. Yeah. So I highly recommend going there. You just have to be mindful. It's not a place that's open. It's got kind of strange hours. So you definitely
Oh, okay.
call ahead of time or look up on Google and see when their hours are, because sometimes they're open for lunch for a few hours and then they close, and then they're open for dinner for a few hours. They're not
It's
open
called
all.
siesta,
It's siesta. That's right.
which means you get to have a margarita if you work there, take a siesta, and then go back to
Exactly.
work, right?
Right.
But that's how it is in Mexico.
Yep.
Honestly, but I love this. Sounds like a place that Anthony Bourdain would love,
I think so. I think he absolutely would love it. So,
because it's sometimes they put, we all the money that goes into the whole aesthetics, right?
mhm,
Instead
mhm.
of the actual food. Sometimes that's that interesting decision that is made in restaurants. And you made a point in one of your articles, and everyone, we've got articles, links to articles that Janice has written, all in the show notes. So check out the show description, whether you're listening on Spotify or watching on YouTube, Facebook, wherever. The links are there. And just go to our website. So that's the place to go, right?
Yes.
So and go from there. But you talked about do one thing and do it really well, which is a scary concept for people like us since we're the blend. But
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
but they did that,
Uh-huh.
so I think
Mhm.
that they're just being really real about their roots and not over fanciful, and you know
Right. I mean, they do have burritos too, but everyone goes there for the tacos. And
mm.
so, I mean, I guess it's kind of like a Chipotle in that sense, but I say much better. So skip Chipotle and go to Xicamiti.
Listen, you can go get Chipotle in your town. I'm not knocking franchises because they're still owned by, you know, small business people, So
Yeah.
I think I'm all for entrepreneurship and small business, but I really love it when someone's taking their own initiative, their own creativity, and it's always a big risk, right? But
Yeah.
I love this. Now let's talk about pizza, because we're going to talk about Coors, but like what, pizza and beer sounds good, but you got Woody's,
Yes.
and this again seems like just like this seems like a fun place.
It is. And it is a place that's been around for over 30 years. I think last year they celebrated their 30th year in business.
Mm,
And it's,
that's pretty
I think
good.
far and
Yeah.
away, yeah, one of the most popular restaurants in Golden. People definitely on busy days like Fridays, on the weekends, holidays, they're waiting
Mm.
outside of Woody's. They'll wait for 30 minutes or more just to get a table.
Then that's good. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah. So, and I would say that obviously people come for the pizza. That is their strength, but they have some really good entrees too, pastas, hamburgers, sandwiches,
Mm.
and just really great. I call it great comfort food,
Mm.
basically. So.
But when it comes to their pizza, do they have a specific signature pizza that they're known for, or is it deep dish, thin crust, hand done? How
I would say it's mostly hand tossed pizzas, thinner crust, and obviously because it's called Woody's wood fired pizzas,
perfect.
you're going to get this amazing crust that's crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside,
Mm.
that holds up to any pizza topping that they put on it. And I would say that they have a few signature flavors. One is called the Blue Buffalo, which is
Mm.
chicken with buffalo sauce, blue
Ooh,
cheese crumbles, mozzarella, and
ooh,
organic chicken. Yeah,
nice.
it's very, very good.
Yeah,
Slightly
I'm getting
spicy.
hungry.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I won't get too much into the pizza flavors too much. So I don't want to make you too hungry.
I love pizza, man. I'll do anything. Give me a pizza and a cold beer. I'm like yours. Like, and a margarita too. I'm all good with
Oh
that.
yeah, me too.
But pizzas and margaritas go really well. But the buffalo, oh, that sounds the buffalo chicken with like, oh yeah.
Yeah, Another one they have is the honey barbecue chicken and bacon,
Oh,
and it's got obviously all those
real bacon, right? Not Canadian
real
bacon, real
bacon, not
bacon.
fake, yeah, and applewood smoke,
You called it fake.
and
That's funny. That's funny.
and a whiskey barbecue sauce that
Oh,
it's very,
really?
very good. So another one
Oh,
is, let's see, the California Dream, they call it. It's got herbed olive oil, sun-dried tomatoes, artichoke hearts, spinach, and roasted
ooh,
garlic, mozzarella.
oh.
Yep.
Okay, this is a dangerous spot to be in. So do you get to take it home if you want to? Like if you've got a
Oh yeah.
vacation rental or a hotel, you can,
Oh yeah. Yeah, you definitely can. I mean, as
yeah.
long as your hotel has a
Because
fridge to put it
I
in.
love the next day pizza. I love the next morning pizza, cold pizza for breakfast. I'm in, like seriously. And don't mock me if I do have a beer with it at breakfast. It might happen.
That's okay. I'm not judging.
I don't care. I don't care. I've lived around the world.
Nope.
I could be anywhere at that point, who cares?
Right.
But that's the thing, there's like, when hand tossed pizza and it's wood fired, there's some pizza places where the next day the
Mhm.
dough of the pizza crust actually goes into like a sourdough and it is exceptional. There's a
Mhm.
place in Asheville, North Carolina that I'm like, are you kidding me? I don't even want to touch it the first day I get it. I want it the next morning when it turns into sourdough because it's
Right.
a whole other experience, but both
That
sides,
is
both
true.
are good. It
Yeah.
is, it is.
Oh, and I
Oh,
have to mention, one thing we do here in Colorado is the pizza crust. After we've eaten all the toppings on the pizza and leave the crust part, what a lot of people do here is take honey and pour honey all over the crust. So you get a little bit of a dessert, I guess, after you've eaten your pizza.
oh wow, that's a little different.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it is. It's
that is a
something
little
I never
different.
saw when I lived in California. I only saw it here. So don't see it
Yeah,
anywhere else either.
we used to
So,
take a pizza and like the next morning and you don't heat it up in the microwave. You get it on a skillet and you crack an egg open on it and you cook an egg on top of it and you keep it
oh.
a little runny. It's
Mhm.
like it's like eggs Benedict with a pizza.
Right. Oh, that
And you
sounds wonderful.
and you put some pepper flakes, red pepper flakes, so you get
Mhm.
a little spice in the morning. That's in case you had too much Coors beer the night before. Just in case. You never know. Okay, I'm gonna
Right.
go to the beer. Okay, we got to go
Okay,
right to the
sure.
beer. And we
Oh,
got
yeah.
the Golden Mill, so we got more food, but we'll get into some history and where you can stay and hike. We're gonna have to hike this stuff off, right?
Yes,
But
absolutely.
let's go to Coors Brewery because
Yeah,
yeah, that's like an institution.
it is. It is. It's probably, as I said, the thing that Golden is most known for. Um, Coors beer started here by Adolf Coors in, I think it was 1873.
Mhm.
So they just celebrated their 100 last year, their
Wow.
150th anniversary.
Ooh,
So, mhm.
150. Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a lot. So, wow.
So,
So you
yeah.
can go on a tour of the brewery. That's well, because Denver's huge on the map of the beer world in this country, like nationally, of
Yes.
beer being something and then getting into the craft beer. But it all started with like Bush and Coors and those mainstream Samuel Adams, obviously up in Massachusetts, but like it really Denver area, not just Colorado as a state, but
Mhm.
Denver really, I think, was one of the spearheads, I think, in the beer industry in this country.
Yes, it was. They even have the Great American Beer Festival.
Hmm.
I believe it's every September.
Yeah.
Once the tickets are available, it sells out, I would say in about, I would almost say about 10 minutes because
Wow.
it's so popular. And yeah, Denver is definitely a center for craft breweries. But of course, it all the origin of it, of course, started in Golden with Coors, and so, or I don't know if it quite started, but it's definitely
Mhm.
one of the places that people love to they love to buy Coors. There was a whole mystique around Coors, of course. People came out, they drove from all over the country just to come to Golden or to Colorado and to get Coors beer. That's how special it was to a lot of people. So
Is it because of the water? Like what was it like that kind of well, you think about Golden, Colorado, like, cool waters. I don't know, like
I I think they did
Rocky
themselves a
Mountains.
tremendous favor, yeah, by marketing it as brewed with Rocky Mountain spring water. That I think
Yeah,
that's what their tagline was for the longest time. And so I don't know if that made a huge difference with it, to be truthful. I personally think there are other beers that are better than Coors, but I will
sure.
drink the Coors if it's at a party, if it's at a dinner,
Salt and pepper
something.
with lime. Yeah, yeah, salt and pepper and lime in at the
Okay, is
top.
that what makes it better?
It makes all those kinds of beers better.
Okay.
Or just put like a, oh
Yeah.
gosh, I can't remember the tahini, not, it's not tahini. There's a Mexican flavoring you can put around the edge of your glass that you
Oh,
would,
okay.
gosh, I can't remember the name, but it's, yeah, it helps. A little
Okay. All right. I
chili.
will
It's like a
remember that next
chili
time. I
kind
will
of,
remember that.
yeah, it's peppery. And it helps. I don't know, it just kind of creates this, a little salt, a little black pepper or, chili, and then a little lime changes everything.
Uh-huh. Okay. Well, I will try that next time when I have a
I haven't
Coors.
had a Coors
That's
for a long time.
available.
And then they got it. Weren't they the ones who started the whole light thing, Coors Light? Before,
I
I
believe
think they were
so.
before
But,
Budweiser.
but
Like,
before blood, yeah, before Bud, yeah,
yeah.
before Bud. But
Wow.
with the Coors Brewery, it's a free tour that you can take
Oh,
of the
cool.
plant. You get to see basically the history of Coors, how it came to be, what Adolf Coors did to make it grow, how it became a community builder, basically. The tour itself takes you through the plant. It's about, I think, about 30, 40 minutes. And it just shows you the brewery process on, of course, a grand scale, because
Wow.
Coors
That's
is,
pretty impressive. Yeah.
it is impressive. Yeah. So it is probably, I would say, one, like I think I said before, one of the most popular things to do
Mm.
in Denver. People come here specifically to go on this tour when they're in Denver, and you will have to book a reservation. I would almost say a few weeks or even a month or two in advance. That's how popular it
Wow. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay. So when your best ofs are best ofs, really,
is.
this
Yeah.
is no messing around. Do they give you samples? This is
Yes, they
important.
do. Oh, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
They're
If
allowed
I
to.
didn't ask that question, people would be mad at me.
I know.
Yeah.
But yes, you can definitely, I think you can have up to 3 samples when you're at the end of your tour. So,
Okay. And then we can go to the food hall. Uh, you said the best bar view and food hall is Golden Mill. Tell us
yeah.
about that. I love
Okay.
food halls. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And it's
They're awesome.
probably, yeah, no, no doubt. And it's not, Golden Mill's not the first food hall in Golden. There was another one that actually opened and then they just recently closed. But I would say
Mm.
that far and away, Golden Mill is the most popular. It is in what used to be an old grain mill and animal feed store. So I
Oh,
actually
cool.
remember when it was a feed store.
Oh, wow.
I was going to buy some chicks for my kids, and
Mm.
ended up not getting them, thank goodness. But I remember, yeah, going in there, and we bought dog food for the dog that we used to have, and then they closed down for a few years, and then about, I would say, about 2, 3 years ago, they opened it, reopened it, remodeled it, spiffed up the place basically, and called it Golden Mill. And what it
Mm.
is a food hall. It has roughly, let's see, I think about 5 food stands, including barbecue, a chicken, mostly chicken sandwiches
Uh-huh.
stand, a taco place, a sushi place, and ice cream place. And so,
Wow.
yeah, and but
That's a
that's,
nice balance.
yes, yeah, it is. And but what makes Golden Mill a little bit unique in, and I think fun for a lot of people, is they have self-pour taps, and mostly beers. And that is, of course, you can get your Coors, Coors Light, but you can also get different craft breweries that are
Oh,
from
cool.
around the state. Yeah, and brews that they have made on site, ciders, margaritas, other cocktails, also now non-alcoholic drinks. And so it's a fun place to go to. And basically what you do is you register your car, credit card at the entrance. You're given a card, and that's basically your tab. So you go up to the
Mm.
taps, and then you can pour as much drink as you want. And
You
yeah,
check out at the end.
and
So
yeah,
what's cool is like, especially on vacation, everybody wants to have, I want this, I want that, when you're there locally. But a food hall, everyone can get what they want and
yep.
meet together at a table and not like, well, I don't want to eat this. And, especially if you have kids, right?
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
Mm.
But the mill itself, the Golden Mill, is on two levels. And so on the top level, you have this open seating area. You have an open seating area on the bottom too. It's more indoor outdoor. But what makes it really, really cool is that it's right next to Clear Creek. And Clear
Okay.
Creek uh, I guess it's a river creek, whatever, that runs through Golden. Probably provided the source for Coors beer, the original source.
Okay. All right. There you
And
go.
it's got some awesome views, just awesome views of the Rockies foothills, of the
Oh.
Table Mountains, which there's a North Table Mountain and a South Table Mountain.
Hmm.
You see Coors too, because everywhere you go in Golden downtown, you can see Coors.
It's like, hi,
Uh,
Course. We
Hi,
don't
Coors,
have a
right?
water fountain. What with those water things that, what do you call them? Water towers, but we have a
Uh-huh,
Coors tower, right?
uh-huh. Yeah, exactly. So
That's funny.
it's just a great place to hang out, especially on a nice day like it is today here in
Mm,
Golden, nice and sunny. And so it's extremely popular.
mm.
And I recommend, if I were to tell people who were to if they were asked me where to go, where should we go in Golden to just get a drink and hang out, I say go to Golden Mill.
Yeah, that
So
sounds perfect. And you get a nice view of the area, and it's like a little, idea of what the terrain is like. And then you were talking about that Clear Creek Trail. So
uh-huh,
that's that trail that is so popular for people to hike. Tell us a little bit about that.
exactly. Yes, Clear Creek Trail is actually part of a longer 20-mile trail that goes from where we live in Golden down all the way to the Platte River in Denver. So it's a
Mm,
long trail, but the part that I am most familiar with is obviously the part in Golden,
mm.
and it is a trail that I would say, let's see, it's paved on two sides, on the north side and then on the south side.
Mm.
And there's really no designation as to whether uh, uh, I guess hikers, or not hikers, walkers, people who walk on the trail and people who bike on the trail go to. But I think now bikers get annoyed with all the people who are on that trail walking. So I don't think we have as much
Yeah.
bikers on that trail anymore. But it's a trail that goes alongside Clear Creek, and it's roughly about a little under 2 miles. And so it's a
Mm.
very, very nice walk to take along. It goes right past the Golden Historical Park and Museum. So if you want to know a little bit more
Oh,
about
that's
the
cool.
history of Golden and see some old historic buildings that were
Hmm.
once in use and now are just in this area, that is kind of in, I would say halfway between the trail, or
Okay.
on the trail. It's a really fascinating thing to see, for
That's
sure. Yeah, and then another thing that you'll get to see on the Clear Creek Trail is the kayakers and people who
cool.
go tubing during the summer on the trail down the creek, and so
Oh,
that's
wow. On the
kind
creek.
of
Wow.
fascinating. Yeah,
Wow. Well,
yeah.
that's it. Colorado's amazing. I mean, we've spent a lot of time in the state and watched like people surfing the Arkansas, was it the Arkansas River? Yeah, it is the Arkansas River. Like actually surfing, riding the waves of a river. And I'm
Uh-huh.
like,
Yeah,
no way, you go, dudes. Like
right.
I'll watch you. I'm
Yeah.
photographing you. That's fun. I would do
Yeah.
it, but I know it's going to be my demise of that. But I mean, it's like it's such an active state. You're
Mhm.
allowed to have all the beer and pizza you want and
That's
tacos and margaritas
it.
because you're very active and the
That's right.
history is fascinating as well. I mean,
Yep.
especially being, so close, you're in the Rockies, and that's something, also for folks traveling to Colorado, like Rocky Mountain National Park. I think now we have to get reservations for that too. So that's something to be aware of for travelers going to Colorado is get your reservations for the park. You can't just drive in, like you used to, which is,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it's for also for crowd control too. I mean,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
places don't become overrun and too busy
It's
and
better for everything.
crowded.
During COVID, when things started opening up, like botanical gardens, started
Mhm.
staging people, and it was such a better experience. And I think we all kind of wanted that. Who wants to be in a garden fighting over a flower? You
Right.
know,
Yeah. Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
it's like
Exactly.
that's the
Yeah.
opposite of what we do
Mhm.
with, that's not flower power. But
Mhm.
anyway, but I want to go to Buffalo Bill's gravesite. This is
Yeah.
cool.
Uh-huh. Yeah. It's
That's
up
kind of
on
iconic, you know.
very it's actually up on Lookout Mountain, which is the um I guess the peak that kind of dominates Golden.
Mm,
And it is a it takes you can get there either two ways. You can either go up Lookout Mountain Road, which is a very windy, steep, but awesome view,
mm.
an awesome road with plenty of just draw-dropping views, basically. You just have to be careful. You got to be careful driving it, and you got to be careful
Yeah,
of the cyclists who are on it too. So, because there are a lot of cyclists who like to
yeah.
go up Lookout Mountain. I'm not one of them. I'm not a cyclist. So,
Definitely not going down it either. No.
no, well, there are those who go down it too, and you got to be careful of them. Got to be
Yeah.
mindful, of them
I
coming
think
down the
this is
hill.
about your whole state, quite frankly, because
I
even
think
going,
so.
yeah, Colorado Springs in that area, I remember
Yeah,
that, going,
right.
uh-oh, slow down. There's cyclists for sure.
The other way to get up there is via I-70, Interstate 70, and you go to the other part of Lookout Mountain Road, and it's a little longer to go that way, but it's not as steep and harrowing. So, but
Okay.
I would say that yeah, the Buffalo Bill Museum, of course, is and Gravesite is the final resting place of the Old West showman and frontiersman Buffalo Bill. Uh,
Yeah.
and he was I think he was in the military, and then because he knew how to scout buffalo and round up buffalo, I think someone said, "Wow, you could be a scout, for us." And so he then, from there, became some kind of showman that
Hmm.
went all around the world and portrayed the Wild West to those who did
Yeah,
not
he
know
went,
about
Europe
it.
was huge. Europe was
Yeah, he
huge.
was very popular in Europe. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. And so he then came back here, passed away.
Mm.
But there was a dispute as to whether he should have been buried up in Cody, Wyoming, which I guess
Yeah,
they claim to, him being from there, or having his last wishes say that he wanted to be buried there. But his widow actually said no, he wanted to be buried on Lookout Mountain. So that's what won
that's
out,
it.
basically.
Well, you've got Helen Hunt Jackson too in Colorado Springs, not too far
Yep.
from you.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
she's got her park out there, and yeah, so it's kind of the
Yep.
West is the West. I mean, Colorado is rugged. It's not,
It
yeah,
is very
it
much,
is.
very
You've
much.
got to
Even
know
it's
your outdoors. Wear layers everywhere in Colorado. Oh my gosh, I don't
right.
care. It was in the middle of summer. All of a
Yep.
sudden, yeah, it's like
Yeah.
in the 30s. I'm like, excuse me, what?
Oh, you know
Nope.
it. You know it.
It's the layer thing is real about Colorado, but I
Yes.
love Colorado. I think it's one of the most beautiful states we have, and it's four seasons. You can really enjoy yourself. I mean, you guys get out there. You don't, oh, it's snowing, we're huddling in. No, you guys get out, man.
No, no. I mean, I used to be the kind of person who would put on a jacket, a scarf, a hat, gloves, whenever it was. And
And I'm gonna have a blanket
I
around
don't
me.
do that anymore. I just put on a
Wow.
sweater and I go out, and that's it.
No. Oh my gosh. No. Okay. No, I'm not doing that. Tell us a little bit, and everyone again, the links
Uh,
to stories that Janice has written is in all
uh,
the show notes. But tell us a little bit about you getting started in travel writing. Have you always been in travel writing and blogging? And
No, no, I was not. I actually started in education. I was a teacher
okay.
for a few years, and then I moved on to being a school counselor and psychologist.
Oh,
Um,
oh boy,
and
I'm getting
Oh, no, no,
Trouble. I'm kidding. I'm
don't
kidding.
worry.
I'm
Not
kidding. I'm not at school
animal.
now. All right. Yeah.
But in 2012, what I decided to do was to start with a writing career. And so I actually
Hmm.
decided to do some freelance work for websites. And so I wrote
Hmm.
website copy, social media posts, and SEO optimization for websites.
Hmm.
But a lot of my clients were travel related. And so,
Okay.
and because I've always loved to travel, I thought, well, this might be kind of fun to write travel related content. And so I then decided to start a blog, and that was actually back in 20, let's see, 2019, I think 2019,
Hmm.
2020. I started to, um, I first did one that was called, um, oh gosh, now I can't even remember the name
Yeah,
of
we
it.
all go through these changes, don't we?
We do,
Yep.
yeah. And so, but
Transitions.
I
Yeah.
finally settled on the name Sansei Traveler. What
Hmm.
Sansei means, it's a
Mm.
Japanese term meaning third generation.
Mm.
And so I'm a third generation Japanese American. My parents were born here, but my grandparents were born in Japan.
Okay.
So that's why I decided to call it Sansei Traveler, to
Okay.
nod to my heritage,
Oh,
but also
cool.
traveler is, what
I always
what
thought sensei was more related to martial arts for some reason. I don't know
I
why.
I think you're thinking sensei, which
That's
means
why I was getting muddled up. Oh, well,
yeah.
see, this is why we have these conversations, right?
Exactly.
It's because I'm not going to be the only one. You know, I'm not,
Oh,
right?
no, no, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. I think I even addressed that in my bio or my about
Yeah.
page. Sensei, sansei, what does that mean? Oh, I thought that
Yeah.
meant, Mr. Miyagi in
Exactly.
The
So
Karate
everyone's going to
Kid.
go there. Yeah, the Karate Kid. So no, it's
Right.
not quite that. Well, I kind of thought, well, oh no, but you're a teacher. So I went into education mode like immediately.
Yeah.
But travel writers are educators, right?
Yes, I agree. I
Yeah.
totally agree with
And to
that.
get
Yeah.
someone's attention, it's all of that craft work goes into it because, it's not like here I'm going to write like toilet paper or years and years of something because no one's going to
Right.
read it. You have to get people's attention span, like
Yeah.
fill it, get it while you can, and then like your golden stories, you've got them in all these different publications, which is
Mhm.
important because it's like the it's important to show the different size and keep that consistency if you want a place to get that kind of coverage. But I know you write about a lot more places than Golden.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely. And so, but what I decided to do with the blog, and the
Mm.
blog is it was basically my way to just document my travels. It wasn't a thing that I said, oh yeah, I would love to write about my travels and then monetize it.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly for me to just remember
Mm-hmm.
where I go. And so,
Mm.
or to share it with people I know. And then I've now decided to branch into videos and into
Cool.
photography as well. So
Mm-hmm.
to add visual content to my repertoire. So.
Awesome. Awesome. And being part of IFWTWA, the International Food Wine Travel Writers Association, how has that helped you?
Oh, I would say that it was definitely helped me with my growth as a travel writer and a travel content creator.
Mm-hmm.
The people I've met through IFTWA definitely have helped me out, have been so helpful with just any questions I should have, because I still consider myself a newbie. I mean, I don't have a huge portfolio of
Mm-hmm.
work, but it's growing. And I think another thing that IFTWA's helped me to do is, or the people in IFTWA have helped me to gain confidence as a
Mm-hmm.
travel writer. Because I always think, the content I put out, oh, it's not that good. Oh, yeah, so
We're the worst. We're our own worst critics.
mhm, yep, absolutely. But
Mm.
you just have to keep persisting, keep trying,
Mm.
have the confidence to go out there and pitch a publication or pitch a website or pitch somebody who you can share your content with, and
Mm.
your view of the world. So
Yeah, that's awesome.
mhm,
And everyone I've known, I mean, we've been doing these shows for years, and um, it just seems like everyone works together to help each other.
absolutely. Yeah,
Because
definitely.
and you go to corporate America, we're all going to backstab each other, men and women alike, right? We're all
Right.
it's all it's cutthroat. but in this world, it seems like, oh, well, I know this person over here, you're writing this, they would, seems that people are more sharing in this industry, in this, and then the
I
association too.
I completely agree on that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I think just the collaborative nature of what we do makes me feel comfortable in pursuing and in keeping at what I'm doing. And so
Mm.
I really just enjoy what I do. I mean, I'm also a travel advisor,
Yeah, I saw that.
and,
Yeah.
that's actually kind of what I did concurrent to what I've been doing
Hmm.
as a writer. And so I feel that industry is also very collaborative too. We also help each other out. So I've been very, very happy
Mm.
just being in travel, both the travel advisor side of it and the travel content
But they
creator.
go hand in hand. They really
They do
do.
go hand in hand, definitely.
Yeah. And you
Yeah,
get the ins and outs, so you really understand, and you
yeah,
understand what your clients go through. It's like, oh, well, when I write this, let me make sure these points are in there. It's like why I brought up the national park. I know
yeah,
that our audience definitely is, we have a huge national park audience, and they need to know, like, don't just go, don't drive all the way from Denver to Rocky Mountain National Park, because it is
right.
a bit of a drive, and think, oh, you can just drive into the park.
Yeah.
Sometimes you might, there's different times, but check it all out. So that's it. Those things are important for people, because when they get there, I mean, who knows? Sometimes people don't get a vacation for 2 years or 3 years. So
Hmm.
when they go, you want it to be like memorable and fun and transformative and all of those wonderful things. So as writers and advisors, it's important to help that go that way.
Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Now you went to the IFWTWA conference last year. You're going to go this year?
Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there. I mean, last year's was, I guess, a little different than what they had because it was on a cruise ship on the Discovery.
Yeah.
And so it'll be kind of great to go to, I guess, more traditional one where you're on land.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Exactly.
seeing the local area. And I'm really looking forward to going to Finger Lakes because I've heard so
Mm.
much about this area. I've heard nothing but great things about it. It's a wine area. Um, I'm still learning about wine. And so I am very much looking forward to attending and exploring the culinary scene and just everything that's around there because it looks so beautiful too.
It does. It does. It really does. Well, everyone, you can learn more about that at IFWTWA.org, and then go to senseitraveler.com. Did I get that right?
Yes, you
Not
did.
sensei, not senseitraveler.com. Well,
Yeah.
thank you for explaining that to us too.
Yep.
We really
Mhm.
appreciate it, and
Absolutely.
for sharing, some of the joys that you have out in Golden. And before you go, we need to tell people where to stay. That was the one thing we left off here on your list. You have a
Ah,
cool
right.
list. The
Yes,
Eddy. Oh gosh, how
Eddie.
could we don't want to leave the Eddies off? Oh my.
No.
Who's Eddy?
No. I don't think it's named after a person, Eddie. It's I think it's kind of like the whirlpools that happen in a creek or
Oh,
a river or something like
oh,
that.
okay, cool.
So,
We're
but
back to that water again.
back to the water because it is again like many things in Golden, right next to Clear Creek,
Okay.
and it's kind of in a location that's a little bit set apart from town, but I think that's what kind of makes it a little
Mm,
really nice. It's a quiet, tranquil place. It's a boutique hotel, no more than I think about 50
nice,
rooms, and
nice.
it was just recently built, opened about 2 years ago. And
Okay.
they really wanted to incorporate some of Golden's old industrial history. So you'll see photos, prints of photos that are in the rooms of what used to be what's I think it was called the Rocky Mountain Fire Brickworks, because
Oh,
that's where it used to be was on that site and before it was all.
okay, cool.
So,
Oh,
and they have a real craftsman style to their decor. So it's very clean, but I think really just it speaks to the history of Golden. And so
yeah.
and they have a area that's this outdoor area that's you can play cornhole, you can just sit around and have a drink,
Yeah.
and a tap room that has
Oh,
great
wow.
cocktails, of course, beer on tap, and
And Coors.
and Coors, exactly. But what they are starting to be known for is their barbecue. Now, I have not tried their barbecue, but I have friends and acquaintances who have, and they say it is probably some of the best barbecue you can get in town. So
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Janice. It's been a true pleasure.
oh, my pleasure for me too. So thank you.
Thank you. Safe travels.
All right, thanks.
Don't drink too much Coors. Thank you for listening to Big Blend Radio's Food, Wine, and Travel Show, featuring members of the International Food, Wine, Travel Writers Association. We encourage you to visit their website. We say IFWTWA, which is IFWTWA.org. You can also follow us at bigblendradio.com. Happy travels, everyone.